What's up, everybody? Marvel the Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. Today we are looking at Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 43, and today's title is Help. And yes, Peter Parker is going to need some help today, as he is going to be hanging out with the X-Men members of Marvel Girl, Storm, and we're also going to see him teaming up with Kitty Pryde. It's a pretty good stuff going on here. So we open up the issue off. We have basically all the students, they are in their chemistry class, and the professor is asking, where is Peter Parker at? Where is he at? Because as we recall, these three issues are taking place in one day. And we see that Peter Parker was at the school earlier, but now we see that he's nowhere to be seen, and the professor is asking, where is he at? So everybody's looking around, and he said, the only one of you jokers that pays an ounce of attention, and he skips the class. I saw him in the hallway. Why isn't he here? And then Gwen says, doesn't he get like all A's? So big whoop. The professor says, you'll pardon me, Miss Stacy, if I don't take disciplinary advice from the likes of you. So finally, Mary Jane, who is the girlfriend to Peter Parker, basically says, well, he's had a stomach thing. And Gwen's like, oh, good one. And the professor says, well, Miss Watson, tell your little friend that I have been teaching this class for 17 years, and I don't care what his grades are. You tell him, show up to class, or he'll live in high school till he's 50. Tell him his parents or whoever will be getting a call this evening to discuss, and all of a sudden, over the intercom, the principal from Midtown High basically says that Principal Zazvad of the other school has alerted everybody that there is a mutant on the premises, and he's been blowing up vehicles. And so, for the safety of Midtown High, the principal is making sure that all the students go home immediately, that they will be going to the bus lot to get on the bus, or they've also alerted their parents as well to come pick them up. And so we see that everybody starts to shout for joy here as they're going to go home and not have to spend the rest of the day at school. But we see Mary Jane is worried here. Uh-oh, now the parents are going to be coming. That means that she's going to have to deal with Aunt May, wondering where Peter Parker is at, and also try to figure out what happened to Spider-Man as he was dealing with this Joker right here, Gandalf. And so we see here, folks, that last issue we ended off, we had Marvel Girl, we had Kitty Pryde and Storm. They all were going to meet this guy for the first time. They're going to tell him that he's a mutant. And they basically introduced themselves as, my name is Aworo. I'm one of the X-Men. This is Marvel Girl, and this is Kitty Pryde. He said, don't mean to freak you out or anything, but we wanted to talk to you. And so this guy here, he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I don't want to be a mutant. And he faints. Geldof faints here. And so we see that Geldof, because of just all the pressure, faints. So now all of the X-Men are looking at him and say, what did you do, Jean? I said, well, I was just talking to him. But we're going to see that Kitty Pryde really, really likes Spider-Man. She actually has a poster of him hanging up in her bedroom at the X Mansion. She definitely has a big crush on Spider-Man. And she said, what happened to your costume? He's like, I lost it. Where'd you get a poster of me? And Jean Grey says, how did you lose your costume? Spider-Man says, so this guy is a mutant. I thought so, but he was pretty, no offense, he seems pretty he says homophobic. He meant to say mutant phobic. All of a sudden, Jean Grey is going to start speaking to Spider-Man telepathically, and Spider-Man starts to freak out here. Like, how are you doing that? How are you speaking to my mind? This is freaking me out. I don't feel comfortable with you in my head. And this is the funniest part of the issue. We see Marvel Girl says, please don't be. It's not that a big deal. In fact, you're the first guy in 6 months who hasn't immediately pictured me naked, so I appreciate that. And then Spider Man starts looking Jean Grey up and down until now. And he's like, sorry. She says, are you done? He continues to look. She frowns. He's okay, I'm done. Then he continues to stare. Okay, I'm done. This is funny stuff here. Once again, Spider Man thinks Marvel Girl is attractive. We see that then Geldof is going to wake back up. He screams, faints again. And yeah, he fainted again. Okay, that time was my fault. I spoke to him with my telepathic powers. And so what they're going to do is they're going to alert the professor on what to do with this mutant. And Professor Xavier basically says that he's been monitoring the mission, but I have my hands full back here. Usually I would say let's go through the proper authorities, but this is a special case. If we leave him, the police will be involved, and I really would like to examine him, but technically it is kidnapping. Spider-Man's like, kidnapping? And he's like, we can't kidnap him. That's against the law. And we see that Storm and the rest of the X-Men are going to basically inform Spider-Man, look, this guy needs to get to the X-Mansion. This is his best chance at life and learning to control his superpowers. It won't really be kidnapping. We'll alert his parents about everything that's going on. And this is when where we're going to see that Kitty Pryde invites Spider-Man to get on the Blackbird jet with these three X-Men. And Spider-Man at first is like, well, I need to get back. And he needs to get back to school, but he's not going to tell them that. So Kitty Pryde's like, come on, please, please, I want you to meet the professor. Kitty Pryde just wants Spider-Man to herself. So Spider-Man finally makes up his mind and he says, you know what? Sure, why not? And of course, look at all the hearts. So yes, Kitty Pryde has a huge crush on Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is going to be flying with the X-Men in their Blackbird jet here. We're going to soon see that everybody is getting picked up at school with the buses and everything. We see that Mary Jane's mom is going to come and hug her, making a big ordeal out of bit into nothing really. And she's like, if I had a mind to myself, I would homeschool you. Here comes Aunt May wondering where Peter Parker's at. She knows that Mary Jane is Peter Parker's girlfriend, so she should know where her boyfriend's at all times. She says, well, he was just here. Gwen says, no, he wasn't. I've been here the whole time. I haven't seen Peter at all. So, yeah, Gwen still doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So, we see Aunt May is like, well, where is he? Well, where is he? He's flying with the X-Men. And he's like kind of getting airsick here. You would think he'd get used to this because, he swings in the air all the time. But this is, I guess, another ordeal in all itself here. And Kitty Pryde is asking him one question after the other. Where'd you get your costume? How'd you get your powers? All this stuff. And we're going to see that then Geldof is going to wake up. And when he wakes up, he basically gets the people's attention, all Spider-Man and Storm's and Jean Grey's and Kitty Pryde's attention when he wakes up. And we're going to soon see that he starts speaking this weird language, like Sakulu Shatara Kanito or something like that. Something weird. And all of a sudden, his hands start to sparkle here with the electric power. He's like, stay away, stay away. And then, boom, there's a huge explosion on the Blackbird. We see Aunt May is calling the Daily Bugle to see where Peter Parker's at while all this is taking place. And MJ is trying to not blow Peter Parker's cover. This plane is going down in the air, and everybody is trying their best to be calm, but the entire plane has just been destroyed. There's a huge hole. We see that Spider-Man is like, hold on, Kitty. in all this, and Storm is the only one really that can fly. I think Jean Grey can as well. She says, Jean, if you can hear me, I'm going to try to pull a wind tunnel together strong enough to keep the plane up, but it's going a little too fast. So we see that Spider-Man saves Kitty Pryde because he can stick to any surface, while the rest of the X-Men are plummeting in the air. We see Storm says, Goddess. And so Spider-Man finally gets out of the plane and he's careening in the air along with Geldof. And Storm now has a big predicament. She can either help the plane that's going to crash, or she needs to go after Spider-Man and Geldof. So what will Storm do next issue, in issue number 44? We're going to have to figure all this out as we continue this story. So go ahead now and give this video a like, comment down below what you liked about this issue, subscribe if you have not, and keep reading comics.